Funny story. I had made this title card and was going to use it before I even reviewed Voltron, but I decided that I didn't think that many people would watch a Strange Things video, so I never made it. Welcome to the heart of the stories we tell. My name is Rob, and tonight I will be reviewing Stranger Things Season 2. Now, like I said, this was almost the first show I reviewed, but it wasn't. And part of the reason I originally tuned in was because as a huge D&D fan, I wanted to see how they were doing that. And even though they didn't get it exactly right, I think Gary Gygax would have been very happy to see how his stuff was portrayed. It was an interesting story, and it was pretty awesome. And then it took off in popularity like crazy. My channel might have done better had I started with Stranger Things. But for those of you that don't know, what I do is I review shows as they come out, movies, books, that sort of thing. But then I also do theory videos every Sunday on why and how we tell stories. If that sounds interesting to you, click the subscribe button. For now, quickly I just want to recap. We have Eleven, who's a psychic, and is basically one of those conspiracy theory people who ended up able to go into a place called the Upside Down. And so is this thing. This thing they nicknamed Demigorgon, but we don't actually know what it is. It's something from this upside down, this astral plane. Season 1 had a whole bunch of people die and a whole bunch of things lost. So the fact that Season 2 picks up with PTSD and people not sure how to deal with the ramifications and people still hiding things isn't much of a shock. In fact, one of the things I love about this show is that nothing got reset to normal. There's a facade of normal in the town, but for the most part, everyone still realizes there's some messed up shit going on. Let's break down the first 2 episodes, but first... So once again, it's stop. Spoiler time. And just a reminder as to where we left off last year. 11 was missing, although the chief was putting Eggos in a box in the woods to attract her and try to make friends with her. But now let's start off with episode 1. Mad Max. And the episode begins with introducing us back to the characters we know, plus introducing us to a new character, Maxine. She's there because she's a transfer student. She's probably going to become one of the main regulars, but for now, we're still dealing with the fallout of when Demogorgon attacked. We still have people who are dead and are only labeled as missing because, well, how do you explain an alien creature from the astral plane killed someone? We have our main characters still dealing with this government agency that was scientifically trying to explore, except now they're trying to hide behind a facade of goodness. And they're barbecuing what's left of the cocoon that the things came out of. That makes sense. When in doubt, smash things with hammers are good, right? At the end of the day, we're really left up in the air as to what's going on. But the episode actually starts with us introduced to yet another new character. I think her number was 8, but she's a psychic, most likely dealing with that same sort of government agency, probably like 11, and she's part of a bank robbery. Now, whether or not that's going to come up in play later or not, I don't know. We also have the fact that there are weird things going on that are maybe trying to communicate, but much like the cat scare, there's one of those things where they use music markers and ominous moments very liberally, so that you can get the feeling, oh my god, something bad's about to happen, but then nothing. It's just normal. Or, well, as normal as you can possibly get in a world where we have a psychic teenager telekinetic superhero, and people get dragged down into the astral plane that they're calling the Upside Down. Now, we also have the fact that some families that weren't told the truth are trying to deal with this. And that's pretty scary if you think about it. The end of the episode, though, showcases what the new normal for 11 is. She's living out in the middle of nowhere in a trapped house with the sheriff. And I think that's kind of cool. The sheriff's pretty much adopted her. And when you think about it, he's the one that was pretty much the action hero of the first season, so him settling down with someone is kind of cool. I, of course, am not going to be able to watch, like 8 hours worth of episodes and review them all today, but So far, I'm definitely sticking with Season 2 of Stranger Things. If you'll excuse me for a minute, I'm about to go watch Episode 2. Chapter 2, Trick or Treat Freak, definitely opens with a flashback that answers some questions, like how Eleven got out of the Upside Down, and why it is people think she's a Russian spy. And all in all, it was a pretty creepy episode, but it was also a really awesome answering questions as to what exactly is going on in this world. I liked the explanation of being stuck, like on a viewfinder in between pictures, because he's not fully in the Upside Down. Now, what I didn't like about this episode was the costume joke. I get the idea what they were going for, I really do. But the fact that the four of them didn't know no one else was dressing up, and no one else did, kind of struck me as weird, and not the sort of thing that would happen in high school. I can forgive that, though, because of the way they brought Max into the story, and I really liked that. I also liked the information we got about what's been going on with Eleven, and it really took a deep look inside her psychology. The psychology of someone who just wants to be normal, someone who just wants to belong, someone who just wants to go out trick-or-treating as a ghost. Speaking of inside the psychology, let's talk about what happened at the party, about underage drinking, about the ramifications of blaming yourself for a friend's death, and once again, PTSD. The idea that after a traumatic experience of one sort or another, you're stuck, kind of like that viewfinder. You keep going back to the same bad thing happening over and over again, and it ruins any chance you have at happiness. Now, the party was, of course, exaggerated the way Hollywood loves to exaggerate wild parties, but I have to say, a high school party that has drinking and smoking, yeah, that sounds realistic. I also loved the way the sheriff was investigating the pumpkins, ignoring it at first and then later realizing, hey, wait, something's the matter here. You totally know that's the Upside Down, right? The episode might end on a jump, but what really ends the episode is the connection Mike and Eleven have. If you notice, she can reach out to him. I guess we're going to call that remote viewing. On to episode 3. Chapter 3, The Polliwog. Rule number 1. Let's be honest. If you know monsters are real and this thing could come back, don't adopt strange things. And don't pretend you have a motorized trap that looks like there's a ghost, because you really need help here. This isn't a joke. There are serious problems coming. At the end of this, I'll get to what Rule 2 is. But okay. I haven't been talking about the interpersonal relationships, even though it's a very high mark in what's going on. It's very thematic, the way people interact with each other, and even the high school age drama of boyfriend-girlfriend is really important. But it's hard for me to make reference to it without sounding, well, kind of like I don't fully get it, because, well, it's just not in my demographic, sorry. But the whole theme is of finding where you fit in life and finding those that you belong with. And I do think that that's important as the season goes on. However, there's something else that's going on, and that is that the mother is actually piecing it all together. For a second, I thought the video recorder might have gone into the same sort of upside down that he did, but it was just as good with just a little snap-it flash. But okay, for the end of the episode, rule number 2. When you know monsters are real, don't take advice on people that are treating them like boogeymen. These are not bullies. These are not stories that scare you. These are real monsters. So instead of stopping and yelling go away, which is a great thing if you think you're dreaming, you need to run. But 3 episodes in and I'm still loving it. I really liked the first season, and I don't think I'm going to get to binge this the entire weekend. So high-end view, what do I think? I think Stranger Things is an interesting story about coming of age and trying to find yourself in the world. But it's also a cool X-Men analogy where we have cool telekinetics throwing people around, and monsters from the ethereal plane, astral plane. Alright, I said astral first, but now they're calling it the ethereal. My guess is that for at least half of you out there, that doesn't make a difference. But I'm giving this, the first third of the season, a gold rating. And I definitely would have given gold to the first season had I reviewed it. It's interesting characters, well acted, and I mean, they really are going all out with the 80s nostalgia. Although, there is part of me that just really loves the Ghostbusters, so, Those are my thoughts. What are yours? Have you seen all the way up to episode 3? Maybe beyond? Let me know what you think down below. And like always, like and share this video if you're enjoying, because that really helps the channel out. And if this is your first time here, click that subscribe button. What I do is I do reviews of TV shows, movies, Netflix stuff as they come out, and then I do a story video theory every Sunday on why and how we tell stories. If that sounds interesting to you, come on and join us as we walk through the heart of the stories we tell. Have a good day.